Now that the world is finally slowly starting to open back up, I'm getting the orders I placed from overseas like over 4 months ago. And these are some of my favorite. I was so excited, even though it was a small package. This is African turquoise. It's literally just jasper that's dyed greenish blue, bluish green, but like they do such a good job. For years I thought it was real turquoise, and real turquoise is very expensive, but still, it's real jasper. Jasper is an amazing stone, and look how pretty that is. It's so amazing. And then you can't beat amethyst. Amethyst is real, amethyst is natural. Amethyst always looks good. I always try to pick out the medium purples in there because you always get a few super dark ones and then a few super light ones. But this bag looks like almost completely, like, has all the good stuff. Like they didn't put in, sometimes they'll just put in a whole bunch of super dark ones that are almost black, so you lose the purple. Or they'll put in a bunch of ones that are just like, see, like that one's just milky white. You don't really get the purple effect. But most of these are just amazing. And 4, 6, and 8 millimeter, those are the sizes I use for everything. 4, 6, and 8. It's 4s are the head of the pin. That's how big they are. 6s are like the size of a green pea, and then 8s are like the size of a garbanzo bean or a chickpea. And I don't know what these are. These are just kind of dyed. Like, that's a little too bright to look natural. Still fun though. And these, again, I don't know what these are. They're dyed a little darker, look a little more natural. I ordered jade from the same places, and I don't always know if it's real jade, because jade comes in different grades like every stone, and some of it's really expensive. There's people like literally dying in mines trying to get highly expensive jade into the hands of rich people, but I don't think this is jade unless it's blue. I think this is just another, I think these are both just dyed agate, but again, also really pretty when you mix them in with the right silver and stuff. But these two, these are the good stuff. So I want to make something for you guys real quick, and I'll tell you, I'm just going to use the amethyst for now, because these are some just nice stones here. The live show is coming up. By the time you're watching this, the live show will probably be starting in like an hour, if you are watching this video when it first drops. It's like, what's it called? Why am I cutting this with these? It's like 9 p.m. pretty much at this point every Tuesday, and we just hang out and talk, and we talk about anything under the sun. Seriously, like we just talk about musicians. I might bang on the guitar. You can ask me questions about anything. And then Fridays we're doing this half-price Etsy show where I actually make the pieces right then and there, and I charge like $10 for what's normally a $20, $25 piece. So this is a video I did a while back. You might not have seen it, so I'll just do it again for you guys, or rather I should say a pattern. Let's get a nice amethyst in there. Okay, there's a nice 8, 6, and 4 there. And it actually looks brighter in real life than the camera's showing you. Let's take about 2 feet of silver. We might not need that much. 18 would be the best, but because that little tiny 4 millimeter usually won't take 18 gauge, the hole is only big enough for 20 gauge, we're gonna do 20. So 2 feet of 20, here we go. This is non-tarnished silver plated wire from Parawire, awesome stuff. We're gonna start with big guy, and we're gonna put him through to the middle of the wire. And just start wrapping the stone. This is, I don't think I've ever done this with 20 gauge, so this should be a little challenging. Just a little bit. So we're wrapping him. We crimped it this way, crimped it that way. Now we wrap that one all the way around so the strands are together. And now we're going to just roll it and let the strands stay together. Let them start to make like a little bit of a swirl going around there like that until you're happy with how many times you came around. And then we're going to take one of these, put the next bead on, the 6 millimeter. And I'm trying to get it in there. There we go. And we're going to wrap it around with just the one strand. I'm going to wrap it around once like this. See that? Now we have the strands together, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to continue to wrap it in a circular pattern coming around like this. Now I'm going to start holding the strands side by side so they really start to make like a cool pattern. And see how that's like that? I want that rolled tighter. And now we're going to put the last one on. And I usually use the outer strand, so again, put the 4 millimeter on here. And roll it once while it's still just on the one strand, and then line it up the other two, and then start rolling that again. So you got like this is like called a pretty silver and purple snowman effect. And that would be pretty. And they spin like they're planets in orbit, or planets just spinning on their axes. But this is kind of fragile, especially with the 20 gauge. 18 gauge holds up way better. This 20 gauge is a little flimsy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make my top loop, because this is going to be a cute little pendant. So make my top loop right there, and you can wrap it around your round nose pliers, but I just wrap it around my fingers and get it centered, get everything straight up and down. And then I'm going to wrap this guy here, and I'm going to wrap around like that to come back down to strengthen these guys. And I'm going to give it a little, it's going to give it a little more structure, make it look a little more interesting. And I'm going to wrap around this one. Now, I should have taken more wire. I always tell myself I need to take more wire, and then I think I'm taking extra, and then I always want to do something fun and I don't have enough wire. But now these guys are held in place much more strongly, and if you want to make them extra strong, you can come wrap it around and come in between there, in between the stone and the wire. I think I'm going to do that just to lock it in extra strong, maybe with one of them at least. So we'll come around, go right through here, trying not to lose the appeal of how pretty the pattern looks at the moment. And 20 gauge is not as like thin wire where you can just yank it like thread. You got to kind of caress it in. You got to gently kind of roll it little bits at a time sometimes to get it in there nice. See how that's nice in there, right there? Got it in there. It didn't squish anything. It didn't look weird. And now I think I'm going to bend this, kind of flatten this out in a way. There you go. So you can see that. You can see that pattern more. And let's see. It still could get yanked apart. It's still kind of weak right there. So this one is going to become a swirl. Let's get him out of the way just so you can see. Now, if I did have more wire, I would come all the way down here and then come all the way back up the top and wrap it around the top loop and tuck in the sharp ends there, and then the whole thing would be strong. But this is going to be pretty much just as good since I don't have enough wire, and it gives you another idea of how when you run out and you're at the bottom of the piece, you can just take your sharp end and make a swirl. Now, I'm going to tuck that in some more, but I'm going to leave it there for a second. This is my last bit of wire, unless I added wire. And I want to try to do this all in one piece. So I have to figure out how to use this to strengthen what's left here. And it looks like it's just right there where it's weak. So I want to come down. I want to come down and connect this to this. See if I can do it. Just enough wire to possibly make it happen. I'm coming through here, and I'm coming through here. And can I do it? Ooh, I did it. Look at that. Now it's through. I just got to pull it. Pull it down there. There we go. Pull it through. Oh, yeah. And let's come out this way. Now that's really much more tight. It's locked in place. It's much stronger. So I'm going to roll this as a unless I can use it to do anything else, because I still have enough wire here to do something. If anything else needs strengthening. I could technically bring it up here. That actually might make... I can't believe I'm attempting this because there's hardly any wire left, but I could bring it up here because this connection here is still, it's strong, but it's not as strong as I'd like. I could bring it up here and pull it right into that loop, and it actually mirrors this curve, so it's not going to look out of place or busy. It's going to actually, it might actually add to the beauty. When you can add to the beauty and add strength at the same time, that's when you are killing it. So it's stabbed right through the top little amethyst wrap. Look at that, it's coming through. I love it. I can't believe I pulled that off. See if I can get it nice and tight in there. So you can't even see it, it just disappeared into, well, it didn't quite disappear, it's right there. And the curve isn't totally great. See how that curve is a little bit square? Let's see if we can make it a little more curvy. Flatten out that part there. Bend this part out a little bit. If you can make the wire curve naturally, that's the best. That's what we've been doing for the first part. But if you ever run into a wire that's totally square and sharp corners, and you got to make it look round. If you just go real slow and go millimeter by millimeter and try to bend it, you can finesse it into the point where it's curved enough that nobody knows but you that you actually had to tamper with it to get it that shape. It'll just look natural. But you got to be real careful and go real slow. So see how I'm doing little movements. I'm just pulling it a tiny bit at a time, and I'm bracing the rest of it as I pull. Now I'm going to roll this into a little spiral, what I have left of it. Now see this cute little spiral, I can just fold it over and stick it right here. And it makes a cute little accent right there. Looks like I put it there on purpose just to be an accent, not because I needed to end it somehow. See that? Now this spiral up here, let's fold him in somewhere where it's not going to be as conspicuous. Right there, perfect. So now my spirals are on opposite sides. They kind of balance each other out. Squeeze that one a little bit more towards the middle. And fun little pendant, right? It's cute. It's strong. I can pull on it from every angle. Everything is held in tight. And I can turn this like this. Boom. And then put my chain through it. Or I could keep the loop like this and put 3 little jump rings. Put the chain I think I'm going to do that. I like that better.